Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a little thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and notification bell, tell a friend. On the docket today, we have Match Me Abroad, Season 1, Episode 7. Did you think you'd get a prince? Okay, this episode was good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Oh my God. Who? Oh, I didn't load anybody. Okay, just talk amongst yourself while I load all of these overlays.
So for me, like honestly,
Jamal.
Natalie works my
Mm-hmm.
nerve. She's not giving me anything.
Oh,
She's just not. She's boring.
well, she
Like
is. She's whiny. That's what it is.
your mom can't be your own storyline. Your mom being in your head can't be your only storyline. You can't. You just can't.
Yeah.
That's all it
Yeah.
was. Like
But there was a little bit to her this week. I felt like she opened up a little bit. This guy, if we're going to talk about Natalie first, this guy that she met with that believes in the angels, I feel like he's a better match for her.
for
Because yes, he
sure.
has the few little tattoos. That's enough bad boy for her. He's a DJ. Um, but to have a conversation with, I think she's more intrigued with him, and
Oh, for sure.
she can understand him better.
Oh, totally
Okay.
agree. But I need her like to get like stop using the mom thing. I just want her to just go with the flow, go with the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she did that more this episode, but I need her to just be
Yes.
herself.
Well, do we really want to see that in a skank?
Mm, well, it is reality TV.
Oh Lord. Hey everybody. Hey Tina. Hey Sunway.
I'm not saying
Um,
she needs to be in the back of the taxi. I'm just saying she needs to not think so much and just go with the process and just see what
mhm.
happens.
But that's why I think like this guy intrigues her enough to think about him and not her mom.
I like that. I'm glad.
Yeah. Yeah, because she wants to know about the angels. She wants to know about he doesn't discuss religion um because it stops him from getting laid. Like she's intrigued by what he's saying. Whereas with Steve War, she couldn't understand or she pretended like she couldn't understand what he was saying. And she was using that as a block. So,
True.
I don't know.
I go with that.
And the one thing I did agree with her though, I really thought he was kind of like a teacher. He didn't seem like a DJ to me.
Nope.
But good on him. Anything else with her?
No.
Oh, I love the dynamic. Like we find out that her mother's Buddhist and her dad is Catholic. And she has like I think she can connect with him because of her thought processes on religions. Like she likes aspects of both
Right.
of her parents' religion. And I just thought it was a really unusual topic for them to connect on. It was the only thing that made me remotely interested in her.
True.
All right, so who is next?
Well, since we're on Juan, we might as well stick with Chad. Might as well go to
Do we
Chad
have
next.
to? Oh my God. Let me find Chad.
This was
Oh, wait,
hilarious to
here
me.
he is.
This
Ugh,
was this was
okay.
hilarious to me. I'm sorry. It was
Hmm.
because he is. I don't know. I don't know. Like he meets Maria. He's like he's everything he's looking for
Hmm.
in a woman. She's tall. She's dark haired. She's very pretty. I like Maria personally. And Chad was just like he didn't know what to
Hmm.
like. It was hilarious. He didn't know what to do. Like he did not. He was so
Hmm.
struck. He didn't know what to do, what to say. And I will agree. Like things were going well until he brought up his three failed engagements. I'm like, yeah, that's a red flag for anybody. For anybody, male or female. Three broken engagements, and then he says, he was cheated on. I'm like,
Mhm.
what's the whole story, sir? You can't have been. I'm not gonna say it's impossible. I'm not going to say that, but okay, were you cheated on all three engagements? Or what one engagement? I need more details, Mr. Chad, because there's a lot of holes in your stories. And sir, cutting grass. Somebody tell someone like you love to cut. That is not exciting, sir. No.
Okay, so I guess it was just me, but I could not be with him, period, ever. I cannot be with a person who does not understand how to navigate a knife and fork properly. I cannot. This is basic for me. You have to know how to use a knife and fork properly in a social setting. He was behaving as if he didn't have thumbs. It was like playtime at the zoo with him. And then on top of that, his accent, well, I don't want me no mo. No. Like, it was a lot for me. It was a lot for me. And I know these are just trivial things, but if you can't eat with a knife and fork properly, I don't want nothing to do with you. And if you can't figure out how to at least speak, like, she was trying so hard to make herself understood to him, and I feel he did not do the same. I felt like he thought he was still in, where the fuck is he from? Tennessee or
Tennessee.
whatever. The double negatives was killing me. The I know he has a thick accent. The grass thing. At one point, I was wondering if he was like cutting weed. Like, I don't know. I was trying to find anything to make him less repulsive to me. And I'm sure he's a very nice individual, but I can't get past his dining etiquette. Y'all, okay, Jamal, you can call me bougie. I don't care. I don't care. And I have a
Okay.
problem with silverware on tomorrow's show too.
I do have a question
Oh
though.
my
Did
god.
his
I just can't.
does
I
his
don't want to. He's stupid.
Okay, Ryan brings up a point here. Now, I'm going to go with this one. I'm sorry, but he isn't sophisticated enough for an
Mhm.
intercultural relationship. I have a question for you guys. It could be just me, but I always felt when he would talk, he would speak in incomplete sentences. Like there were things missing in the sentence. Like he would talk, like he would say a few words and stop, and then keep talking, but the two
Mhm.
points didn't go together. It
It
it could
was
have been just me.
incomplete and incoherent.
Okay,
And
okay,
like I said, there was a lot of double negatives that were killing me. You know, you can have an accent, but still be able to communicate.
okay. Let's be honest. Like,
Has he?
ra- raise your hand.
It's too
Raise
much.
your hand if you understood Maria more than you understood Chad. Okay, I understood her
Put a
very well.
one in the chat if you understood Maria more than Chad. Chad wasn't making any sense. And you could tell when she was lost because she was just sitting there and go, yes, yes. I was like, Maria, give up because we did a long time ago with this fool. Juan, you got good people down there and you hooking them up with this? TLC, you are foul for bringing Chad on this show to irritate the dog shit out of me.
I was just in there
Find
like
him a lawnmower so he could go and mow some lawns in Colombia.
I understood her
They're in
very
Colombia,
well,
right?
and in
Mm-hmm.
Colombia, yeah, I understood her very well. and she was trying to connect. She was trying to connect to him. He was more focused on himself, and that's just the way I saw him.
Mhm.
Like, not that he's a bad
Did he
person. It's just
ask
like
her a
he's
question? Did he ask her anything about herself so he could get to know her? Because he's so focused on physical traits, like her
right.
look. Like, okay, so what else do you want to know about a person besides, their skin complexion, dark hair, dark eyes, and someone that you met in food service? I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
oh,
know.
he did ask her the name of the restaurant.
But that's not about her.
Right.
When you got Harold doing better than you.
You asked if he asked her any questions. That's the question he asked her. Well, that's the one I
No,
remember.
I said, ask any questions about her.
Okay, and
He
let's
didn't
go
even
back to
know
the
what
car real quick.
chorizo was.
Let's go back to the car real quick. When he said he loves cutting grass, and she said cooking what? I was like, okay, I hollered. I'm sorry. He's all cutting grass, and
Who
she's looking at
expects
him, huh?
that? And then she turned around and she said, yes.
Oh, Ryan letting the people know.
Mm-hmm.
Again, someone
Mm-hmm.
with intercultural competence would know you speak slowly and clearly to someone who English is a second language. Well, we know that.
Mm-hmm.
Chad don't know. But in, I'm trying to say the best way I can. Chad doesn't strike me as someone who is remotely worldly. And that's the best way I can put it. Like, he's had no experience
Well,
with
he said
other
that. He'd
cultures.
never been outside the United States.
I,
Well, except the two
I,
Colombian people that he met in food service.
I'm going to venture to say Chad has not been outside of Tennessee.
I'll agree with you on that because he's never been on a plane.
I'm just saying. Poor
He
Chad.
hasn't gotten past his lawnmower, and that's it. He got a passport for this show. Yep.
Yep.
Never had a passport. He's never been on a plane, and he's never gotten farther than mowing the lawn at his and his mom's house. And for some people, that might be great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a recipe for disaster on this show.
Right. And the way he comes across, and this could be partially him and a lot of the editing, but he's coming off as very dumb, very uncultured,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
versus someone who just never traveled. And there is a difference, and I hope people understand that there is a difference between there's a difference in why can't I talk to that? There's a difference between not being like cultured or worldly and being dumb. There's a difference. To me, he's not the way he's edited makes him look very like dumb, where I think he's just
Mm-hmm.
someone who has not traveled.
No, I think he's dumb. Because who brings up on a first date with someone that you trying to impress? Well, I've been engaged 3 times, and all 3 times it failed, and I think it was because of me because I rush things. I'm a cheat on. Uh, I don't know what.
Now that was dumb. That part was dumb. I'm talking about. I'm taking it in the full context of Chad. That was stupid. Because did you see her whole face
Yes.
crack?
Yes.
Did you see his whole face crack? Her whole face crack when he said he was engaged 3
Yes.
times.
She understood that. She understood
Like,
that.
okay,
Chad,
Ryan.
like,
Okay, Ryan. I'll go with that. He sounds both
I
dumb and
don't,
unworldly. Okay.
out of all of the participants on this show, right? This is the one that should have sat down with Juan first and had a little talking to.
Yes. 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 I
To
agree with
to
you.
do to do this to Maria, like Ryan said, this was a waste of Maria's time because he just came off that flight. He had never
Yes.
flown before. It is a pretty long flight for someone's first ever flight. You're
Right.
coming into a full different culture, different language, and you put him right on that first date. Like, that was unfair to Maria. I mean, we were lucky that he took a whole bath at the airport, but that's where the intelligence stopped. Once he cleared the arrivals terminal and saw her, and he was like, well, hot damn, I love to cut grass. And it was all downhill for me. And then I was completely done with him because he didn't know how to use a knife and fork.
Ryan says his ex fiance probably realized how dumb he was and broke off the engagement. Well,
Well, they probably thought he was dumb and cheated on him and figured he wouldn't find out.
oh well.
Mm-mm-mm.
Who next?
Who's the next victim? We have Mark and Harold. Do you want to do Mark?
Mark. Let's do Mark.
Okay. You're old.
Okay. Okay, okay. All right, let's talk about this. So Nina fixes up Mark with Huda. You know, she's 25, but she's a boss and she has her own business. She's business minded. She's like, we know how Mark is about the coin. So she feels she's a better match for her, even though she's 25, she's much more mature than what's it, Sakina? So Mark is hopeful. She's like, you know, she shows him a picture. He's like, okay, she's attractive. And he's like,
no, but you heard what he said. She want to go out with me.
All me. He's like, are you sure? She's like, yes. He's like, okay, cool. And you know, he gets ready. She's all dressed to impress because you're gonna pick her up at her family's home. And you're gonna meet them as well. He's like, okay. On the first day, he's like, I haven't done that in a long time. And he's like, that's not what we do in the States. She's like, look, different country, different woman, different culture. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets ready and all that good stuff in his suit, all that good stuff. He shows up at the little house. The brother opens the door. He's very confused. It's kind of awkward. And like you know, one of the brothers asks like, how old are you? And he's like 44, and he starts like, oh, you're old. He's like, well, look, I look damn good. So next, I'm like, you know what, Mark? I'm gonna give you points for that. Shut, because you know what they're trying to insult you, and you wasn't having it. I'm gonna go with him with that. I like that response.
Mm-hmm.
I look good for my age. I'm like, but see, I've been real ruthless. I'm like, you know, I look good for my age. Can't say the same about you, but you know, we all can't be blessed. But anyway. And yes, I would have gone in on the little boy in his own house, meeting his sister for a date. Don't care.
Here's the thing, though. I do believe Mark when he says he wants someone that's a bit more mature, because if he's 44, I'm thinking he's looking like 10 to 12 years younger max, right?
Yeah, for him, I thought his range would be 30. I'm going to say 30 to 33. That's the range.
The thing is, in Morocco, you ain't gonna find no unmarried women, who aren't widows with children, that are in that age range. Because the last girl and this girl, 24, 25, they looking to get married and have children.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what Nina's playing at. Just like, did he fill out the form wrong? Asking for a friend. Because if he filled out the form and said, I'm looking for like a 22-year-old hottie from Morocco, this is what you're getting. And then don't come on the show and say, well, I want somebody older and more mature and at a different level of their life. You're not going to find it in Morocco, boo.
No.
Don't come over here and say, I want somebody to go 50-50 with me, like we live in Three's Company, like roommates. That's not how it works in Morocco. You take care of them, period. You're going to get you a young wife who's fertile and ready to populate the world with little Marks and Marksettes. I don't get it. And like he said to Nina that the last week girl was too young.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, oh no, I've got a perfect one. Perfect. She's a boss. She's 1 year older. What?
But the maturity level, the maturity levels are miles apart. We can acknowledge that. But then
Are
also
they
as
though?
well,
I thought she was
I'm
pretty much the same as last week's one, especially when she's sitting down there saying that she wants somebody younger who dresses hipper in casual clothes.
well, she has I think she has her own business. She's business oriented, all that good stuff. But I think what Mark, I think
What
his,
business?
but
What is
here's
the
the thing.
business?
She's probably an influencer. But anyway, here's the thing. I'm going to go back to what you said last week. I want to see what he filled out on that paper. I want to see what age range he actually filled out. Because I'm sorry, Nina seems like to be a good matchmaker because she hit what's her name, Stanika out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she could be this far off if you didn't put down what you that on your piece of paper.
Mm. So Ryan thinks that Nina steered him wrong in what to wear.
I, I'll be honest. Here's the thing. She said dress to impress, right? I'm going to be completely honest. When I think dress to impress, I don't think a suit. I think more of what Nordine wore with Stanika, like casual, nicely casual. To me, that's more impressive than a suit. Mark has a very old way of thinking of impressed. I was not impressed by his suit. I'm
He
impressed
could have
by
wore a jacket, a dinner
yes,
jacket with a pair of slacks and an
yes,
open
shirt,
collared shirt.
shirt, yes,
And in a different color scheme. He looked like a
yes.
waiter that was working a funeral or something. I don't know. Like he has no dress savvy to me whatsoever.
I mean, Harold killed him in the fashion game. Sorry.
Yes. Yes. He needed a nice jeans and a sports coat.
Yes, that's it. But see, I'm saying his idea of impressive is a suit. Sorry, times have really changed. That's not impressive anymore.
Maybe he's from Arizona. Maybe that's what they wear over there. I don't know. I don't
It
know.
could be. It
He
could
just
be.
disappoints me on all levels. I have no time for him. Nina is just fucking around with him at this point. Um, do I think that they have anybody in Morocco that would match him? Probably, but they probably already married with kids.
But can
So
we be honest though? Can we
whatever.
be really honest with this though?
Mm-hmm.
Can we just blame Mark and just say he picked the wrong culture
Uh
for
huh.
this particular situation? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I I think this culture doesn't fit his needs because, like you said, you're not really finding too many
Mm.
unmarried 30 to 33-year-olds in Morocco.
You're not. You're not. And even if they're a widow, they more than likely have kids. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, Ryan Rounds. Yeah. Nice jeans, sports coat, cool shirt. Yep. Yep. I don't know. He's awkward to me. And I'm with you on this, Jamal. I want to see what he wrote down on the application.
Yeah,
I want to see what he wrote down on the application. It's not making
but
sense.
right, but also we also take account in the culture as well that like we just said, like you're not gonna find too many 30 to 33-year-old unmarried women in Morocco without children.
No.
So who does that leave left? The 20s and the early 30s. I mean, like with that culture, that's you're either going to go early to mid 20s. Yeah, that's pretty much in that culture. That's just the what I'm
Yeah.
seeing.
Yeah, cuz these two young ladies, they're at marrying age.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Hey Steven, welcome back. I have a Zoom meeting. Oh, thank you, Tina, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Have fun in the Zoom meeting. Um, he wasn't as irritating to me this episode. Um, but I'm sure that he will be in future episodes.
Right.
Okay.
He can't help himself.
Who is? Oh, last but not least, anything with regards to Mark? Anything else?
No, I think he's getting it, but I think he needs to understand where he is. He's not understanding the cultural piece of it, and that's his biggest problem, in my opinion.
Look, Ryan says he'd have more luck finding an American woman in the age
Yeah.
group he wants. Yes, but I'll take it a step further, Ryan. He said that he met some Moroccan women in the United States and he admired their culture and their family oriented and all of this jazz. Lies. Why didn't he go after them? Same thing with Chad. I met some Colombian women in food service and I thought they were wonderful. So I'm going to go to Colombia and pick up a woman. What? None of these two men make sense to me. None. Let's see. Last but not least is our dear friend Harold.
Not last. He's
Harold
not
is so
last.
cute. He's
He's not
not.
last.
Who else?
Yeah, well, we meet Michelle this week.
Oh fuck! I forgot about her.
But we
I
can
ain't
do
make no
Harold.
thing for her. No,
But
let's
we have
talk
Harold.
about Michelle.
Is that about Michelle? Okay.
Let's talk
Now
about Michelle. But let me
she's
see. Did I make anything for her? Child, no, I didn't. This is her. Child. I always got something. Let's do this fool. Oh,
I like Michelle. I like
why?
her. She has a good personality. She's fun. She's funny. But and I have to put a big but on this. Michelle, baby Kins. I understand you're a staunch feminist and liberal. Okay. But you can't lead with that when looking for a man. Because Katerina called it. She said Michelle is this. She said she has a lot of great qualities, but she's emasculating. I'm like, well, there you said it. And you want an Eastern
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
European man, huh? When she said Czech Republic, I just didn't fell out.
Ryan. Yes, Ryan. That's the only picture I could find of her. I'll do better next week. I'll get a picture of her from one of her confessionals. Hopefully she'll look better and she'll have her mouth closed. Because when she opens her mouth and I see all the teeth, it just reminds me of a Jagosaurus. Sorry. Sorry.
But that was my thing with Michelle. I do like her. She seems fun, but like Karen said, she's emasculating her energy, and she wants to find a man in Czech Republic. I mean,
Could
how's
she
that gonna
find Czech
work?
Republic on the map before the show? I'm asking for a friend.
Uh,
She's
mm,
going to end up with a bunch of entrees. Okay, so yeah, it just seems like a lot. The one thing I did agree with her on is when Katarina was saying like, do you want to, are you ready to completely submit? Hell no. I don't know these people. No. I'm not submitting nothing. I'll submit my passport to border control and immigration. That's it.
are you ready to surrender to a man? She's like,
Surrender. Like,
She's,
what?
she said, no, I don't like that word.
I agreed with her on that. But why she can't find anybody in the States? What was wrong with her? What
But
was
she
she
had bad
telling
luck.
her friends?
She had really bad luck. Basically every man she was with pretty much cheated on her.
And then her dad passed away
Right.
suddenly. That kind of, set her
Yeah.
back a little bit. Um Maybe this is just an adventure for her because she wanted to go to Europe
Yeah.
before the penny hit, and she was supposed to go in like the March, and then everything shut down. So maybe I'm gonna chalk this up as an adventure for her. and then she can get her head on right and find out what she wants and what she don't want, and then she'll be better equipped to find her a man when she come back home.
Agreed.
Oh, look at this. Ryan said Katarina used those words intentionally. Sure
Yep.
did. Sure did. Um, I want to see what kind of men Katarina is going to connect her with. What, she want to eat, pray, love situation? She in the wrong country.
Pretty much.
I don't see those men as being very romantic. Actually, I didn't think the men in Morocco would be romantic, but Nurdine seemed pretty cool. But why do I feel like Nurdine is open sexually? I don't know. Oh, no. Alrighty, and then anything else with her?
No, she's good to go.
All right. So last but not least is our little sweetheart Harold. Harold, Harold is getting it on. Harold is doing the business. Harold is
I like it.
in
He's
his
comfortable.
feelings with this date. Did I say that other picture? I thought this was so cute. His little date, and can I hold your hand? I thought that was so romantic. And she said, yes. And he was so in the moment. And he was like, she likes me. And she lifted her head out of that plate long enough to hold his hand. She has the worst posture. Did you see how she was like over that plate? She was taking, she hadn't had a meal in a while. Or she is a girl with a healthy appetite, which I can
Yes.
appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
I can appreciate that. But she was hunched over that plate and she was shoveling it in. Shoveling it in. I guess the sewer made them hungry. I don't know.
I assume so. They probably
And
hadn't
it
eaten all.
wasn't that bad. Mm-hmm.
No, it's just like I get when you're out and about, and they were active. They were out and about. They were actually doing things. So I can imagine just being out and walking, being active makes you hungry. So I'm not mad at her for that. And I agree with Ryan on this one. Harold needs to slow down a little before he scares her away for coming on too strong. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that too. But the date is going with the flow. So
Mm-hmm.
as long as the date is comfortable, like in what is her name? Is it Michaela? Is it
Yeah,
Michaela,
something
right?
like that. Yeah,
So,
something like that.
Michaela seems like a woman who's very comfortable saying what she does and doesn't like,
Mm-hmm.
they had a little vibe on. It was cute, and going back to last week when he asked her back to the room, you're like I think it's editing, and I agree with you. And it was editing. He's like, oh, you want to come back to my room so I can show you my collections? She says yes. Well, that's after calls ahead to the restaurant, has them make some dinner. They have the dinner. They go up to his room, and he shows her his invention book, which was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, you know, you having a good time.
Look, he could draw better than me. I was impressed. I was impressed. But listen, listen. I, what? Okay, so listen. When he invited her back to the room, did you see that she like looked and checked around them, like she was looking to production to make sure that production was gonna come with her to the room?
Well, that's
Did
as
you
she
notice
should.
that?
Yeah, as she should.
Right.
As she
But
should.
if it was me, when I walked in the room and I saw how, he had his stuff all over the place, I'd have been like, oh, this wasn't a plan. Because if it was a plan, that room would have been tidy.
Right.
you know. But he does seem genuine. And when they kissed for the first time, that was so sweet.
It was so. It was. I was happy for him.
And he did that little like hop skip something like when he put her in the van, he snuck another kiss, and then he did his little skip. I thought he was adorable. And he was asking really good questions at the table, at the dinner table, like when was your last relationship, how when do you see yourself getting married, um or how long until you get married or something like that.
Right. How
um
soon? Like,
yeah,
like it was like
he
how
was
soon you
asking
looking to get
good
married?
questions. And then he asked if he could see her again, and she said, "Call me." And it didn't seem like I'm gonna block you, but just tell you call,
Right.
like
Right.
She had nice things to say about him in the confessional, like about his spirit, that he seemed like a genuinely nice guy.
Hmm.
Um, Agreed, Ryan. Harold isn't dumb like Chad. I feel like Chad just sits in his ignorance and expects everybody else to dumb down to him. He would fucking irritate the snot out of me. And I am by no means a great intellectual, but I do look for smart people so that I could absorb from them. I don't want anybody dumber than me. Like I'm good. I'm dumb all by myself, but I need to be with somebody who is intelligent and funny and kind, and I can learn from them. Like they can introduce me to new things and challenge me to explore and do new things. I need someone like that. Chad, we would have been done as soon as we got the chorizo. Sorry. Soon as the plate and the utensils hit the table and he picked them up and it was playtime at the zoo with the way how he was handling those things, yeah, I'd have been like, cut. Where's the Uber? Los Uber. Call the Uber. I'm getting in the Uber and I'm going back to the airport, and I am flying to another country to get away from him. Harold, I love Harold. I love Harold. When he said, I've never had fish like this before. What? So he's never had a
A
cut of
fish steak.
fish?
Yeah, a
He's
fish steak.
never had that?
That's
What
what he
does he
said.
have? Fish sticks?
Probably
How else do you eat fish?
filet. His was more like a. He said he never had a fish steak. It was more of a steak than the actual fillet itself.
I gotta look back at his. Wait, hold on. Because to me, it had looked like. Because when I think of fish steak, I'm thinking of Lord, not shark. Yeah, well, shark too. Even dolphin. But smaller fish, that's fillet for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm different. Because here I am talking about eating shark.
Mm.
And y'all are probably like, what? Yes, and we do eat dolphin, but it's not
Yeah,
the dolphin like flipper. What do y'all call it? Mahi mahi. We call it dolphin.
gotcha. No,
Yeah.
people out here eat shark.
My mother
It's
grew
not.
up eating shark.
It's not.
And
It's not like normal. It's not like. It's not like your everyday thing. But there we have markets that like the meat fish
mhm,
markets. Those places they have the
yeah.
shark.
Yep. And as a child, every Sunday, my mother got a huge spoonful of shark oil before going to church.
Mm,
Yeah. That was like the equivalent of what y'all would like cod liver
Castor.
oil.
Gotcha.
Right. So she grew up in a fishing village. And so her
Makes
father
sense.
had fishing boats, and whatever they caught, they ate.
Yep. That sounds like fun though.
Yeah, and they would get shark oil from the sharks that they caught.
Nice.
And it was in, well, you couldn't, well, they didn't have money to buy like cod liver oil pills and all that, so you
Right.
did it old school style.
Yeah.
And you took the shark oil to the head. Ew.
Ryan says, oh, Ryan says, I've dated them before. You become resentful because you have to dumb things down for them and not be yourself.
Yes. Yes. And now that I'm getting closer to death, right? I find I don't have time for that. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just selfish, but I do need somebody who's going to push me and teach me something. I could be dumb all by myself. That's why I got with Jamal, because Jamal is infinitely smarter than me and can show me different viewpoints because I'm very close minded.
So crazy. You're just set in your ways. Like I tell people all the time, I say like I'm 45, and I tell people all the time, I say, look, I'm not for everyone. Um, I sit in my opinion, and I stay in my opinion and my thought processes until you can show me and explain to me where I could possibly go wrong. You know, if you can't handle someone who has a firm opinion and just isn't gonna agree with you, I'm not for you. And if I'm not for you, that's fine. But if you like, there have been times that you
Mm.
made me open my thought process. I'm like, okay, now that you've explained this to me, I can see that, so I can concede that point, and that's what conversation should be about. But you're not gonna sit here and tell me like, oh, go ahead and just do this. This will be okay for you. You can show me how this is okay for me and how I'm not going to jail. I'm going to need those. I'm going to need that. I'm going to need that. I'm just not going to follow you anywhere. Get out of here. And to Ryan's point, you do dumb in your
Mm-mm.
20s and maybe early 30s. Once you get past your mid 30s, you should be past the dumb shit. You really should be. You don't have
Yeah.
time for that anymore.
Yeah. No. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
But I'm glad Harold, like, y'all know I was real worried about this storyline. I'm glad that it's coming out well. We don't like him with Michaela. And who do we have coming up next week? Did we see a preview? I don't remember.
Oh, the preview is with Stanika. Nordine's back in town, and
Oops.
Stanika's gonna meet his parents, and I believe it's the mother. I think. Oh, Mark and Ahuda go out, and then I
Mm-hmm.
Susan is set up on another date.
Waste of
Those are
time.
the three I saw.
Waste
And
of time. Oh
again, Susan,
God.
he's so handsome. I'm like, you know what? I think we
She
need to
starts
get
every
rid of
day with
Susan.
that. Every
Every
date she
date.
starts like that. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's wait, it's exhausting dumbing it down. I got 2 degrees. I've paid for my vocabulary. I'm going to use it. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Ryan.
And that's the
Yes,
thing when you
ma'am. Let's put this
when you
up.
can't talk, if you can't talk the way you normally do, you start having to think about everything you say, and you start thinking like, are they gonna understand me? Are they gonna get it? I personally have no time for that. If you can't understand the words I'm using and I'm speaking English and you speak English as well, the problem is yours, not mine.
Ooh, ooh.
And that's just the way it is.
Jamal, half the time I don't understand what you're saying. Half the time I don't understand. What are you talking about?
Yes, you do. You understand exactly what I'm saying. You like to pretend that you don't.
Juan should date Susan. I
Nah,
think
Juan,
Juan should smack Susan. That's what he should do. Don't he
nah.
got a wife and
Susan,
kids?
I think so, but Susan couldn't handle Juan because Juan would eat her up at every turn.
He would hold her
He,
accountable, and she doesn't like being held
she
accountable
hates
for
it.
anything. Hmm.
Mm-mm.
He could see through her, and she is so comfortable with having a facade up and pretending to
Right,
be something that she's not. And using that dog as a cover, an excuse.
right. She's
A
happy with
cock
to
blocker.
me. To me, she's just happy being with Calliope because Calliope can't talk back. Calliope can't
How
challenge
the
her.
fuck you remember that name? Like every time you say it, I'm like, what's a calliope? I gotta look that up on Google, and then I remember it's the dog. Like, how are
It's
you
the dog
remembering that stupid name?
because that's her only friend right now. That's all she has. So it's real easy.
You care that much about her to remember her only friend. Okay.
Well, Calliope's more interesting than Susan at this point. That's why, if we're being honest.
I don't like her or that silly bitch. Me and Calliope and Susan in that order. Her or that silly bitch.
Oh, Susan
Um,
brings that dog again as in its metaphorical and physical shield between her and the new man. Yep. But I want to know what that man did to her because there's some trauma there, and I'm gonna say it like this: I really feel that Susan needed to go to therapy before she came on the show.
why didn't all of them like I don't think these people okay. Stanika's the only one who's impressed me with how she assesses the people that she's on a date with. Harold, Harold has really outshone everybody. He really has. But Natalie, she seems juvenile and it's irritating to me. Chad seems illiterate. And then Mark is just thinking with the wrong head. And who else is on it? Oh God. Michelle,
Still like Michelle, but okay.
Michelle, I haven't made a judgment on her yet because I can't get past her mouth. But we'll see when she finally gets over to Czech Republic. Who else is on the show? Okay. Susan seems Susan seems to be wasting time on this show.
Hmm.
So I really think that a lot of them they needed to go to a therapist first. I don't think
Yeah.
they're ready for this.
And Ryan says Harold is open to criticism and taking direction. Well, Harold, if you think about it, is the most self-aware as well. Like he understands where his faults
Mhm.
could lie, and he's open. And he's open. So I
Mhm.
agree with that 100%. And for me,
Well, I,
oh,
look at what she says. Michelle should have chosen a more liberal Western European country. But we're talking
mhm,
about TLC.
right,
Since like it's only in this up is it this season that we're on now with the other way that we're actually going to the UK. We're heading back to is it Amsterdam that we're going back to? They like these emerging nations so that they could take advantage. Let's just call a thing because at this day and age, nobody from a first world country want to come over here. Just saying. And even the people from emerging countries, they thinking twice about coming here.
true.
They are taking the opportunity with TLC to get their clicks and likes up and staying their asses where the fuck they is.
This true.
Let's just be very blunt with that. Can we talk about Cleo and Christian in the UK? Yeah. Oh,
Who are Cleo and
Jamal.
Christian on this new episode on this new show?
They, no, they're on the Sunday night 90 day.
I haven't gotten that. I
Did you
haven't met them
watch
yet.
this
I haven't met
Sunday
them.
that just passed?
No, I'm binge watching everything.
Oh my
The
god.
other episodes today.
You've got to watch it.
I
Because
am.
you saw the chat, right? The mod chat. And I was just
Yeah.
like, wait, is that an Adam's apple?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Ryan, we have a little mod chat where we talk. And and it was on fire during this Sunday's episode. I'm not gonna lie. And I was telling Jamal in a private text, Jamal, you have to watch this episode. And he's like, I can see that my chat is on fire. Yeah, that's a whole experience. That's a whole discussion. Jamal, we have to talk after this show. We have to talk after this show. Ryan, what was your impression of Miss Cleo and Christian?
I have a work meeting in 7 minutes.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, we have to let Jamal go because he's the only responsible one actually at work, and doing the people business. So we will see you tomorrow for, what are we doing tomorrow? You, Me, and My Ex. God, that show needs to end.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you for putting up with us. Alrighty, so like she was talking about her autism, but ignoring the elephant in the room. Yes. We have to set up a show for this. Done. I'm going to schedule it, Jamal, and I'll let you know when to show up. So, guys, thank you for joining us today. Leave your comments below. The chat has been wild for both of these shows. Thank you for becoming a sub if you have. Welcome to the family. Until next time, Jamal.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Bye.